Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. I'm Chris. I am joined by my brothers Adam
Hello.
and Eric.
Hello.
We are back in the room once more to talk video games. And in this week's episode, we have finally gotten a release date for God of War Ragnarok. Ragnarok is coming. We have an official release date. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about the way in which the release date was revealed. Maybe give our thoughts as well on the collector's editions. And there was some other gaming stuff that actually came up during the last week that we might talk about as well. We might touch on. But that was the big thing that people are kind of talking about in the gaming sphere, I feel. And there's some interesting mixed reactions on Twitter if you go looking. It's quite interesting, but we're going to give our thoughts because this is the brothers' take and this is where we give our take, but we'd like to hear your take too. So if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to jump down into the comments to share your thoughts at any point about God of War Ragnarok, if it's something you're excited about, which edition you're looking to get, and what are you looking forward to seeing out of the game. We might be giving our theories or thoughts or hopes for what we might get out of this sequel as well. And while you're here, why not give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell for all future content. If you guys listen to us on audio platforms, and you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on God of War Ragnarok. But without further ado, let's talk Ragnarok. That fucking rhymed. Well, I didn't know it was going to, but
Well,
it did.
that's because you said the same word twice.
Let's talk Ragnarok.
Oh, that's what you mean.
I was like, you're like Ragnarok rhymes with Ragnarok.
Yeah, this is like I was counting the sentences.
It's a limerick. all right. So the release date is officially the 9th of November.
Did that surprise you?
2022. Who?
You.
Me?
You were like,
no.
You're definite. It's out this year.
Yeah, I actually said November 2022.
Yeah.
I didn't know the exact date, but no, I that's what I was saying. I lads, I told you in 2020 they said it was coming out. In 2021, I said no, not a chance. But when it said 2022, I said yeah, that'll happen. It'll be November. So I'm not surprised. Eric, are you happy about that date?
Oh, I'm very happy about that date.
Do you want to tell us why you're happy about that date?
Just because like in June or something, I was like, sure, you know what? My birthday falls on a Thursday. I'm just gonna book off Thursday and Friday, get a long weekend, long birthday weekend, and then this month I find out that God of War Ragnarok is out the day before my birthday, so I get to finish work, come home, and then we get to play it for 4 days.
Excellent. That is 4 times. 4 times. Those are rookie numbers for Eric. He slowed down in his old age.
I have.
That's actually after lining up pretty awesome. Because I remember at one point it was like, maybe Starfield will be the game for Eric's birthday, and he might have to get his hands on an Xbox or whatever initially. But then it's like, oh, God of War Ragnarok. No, that'll do. That'll do nicely.
That'll do very nicely.
You're also probably the biggest fan of Norse mythology out of us.
I wouldn't say. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
You wouldn't say that? I would absolutely say that. Like, I like Norse mythology, but I would absolutely give you the credit as the biggest Norse mythology fan out of us.
Okay, fair enough. Sure.
You've got books on it that you've read, you know?
I've got a book that I've read on it. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you had multiple.
No. I don't think there is multiple, really. It's just that one book.
It's just that one. Is it Stephen Fry? Is that the one?
No. It's Neil Gaiman.
No, sorry, Neil Gaiman. Yeah, didn't Stephen Fry do one as well, though?
No, he did
the Greeks.
He did the Greeks. Yeah.
I
mean, you can get the Prose Edda, which is like the main book that you want. It's like the Bible of Norse mythology.
See, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that was a thing. That's what I'm saying. Just what I'm trying to say. I didn't know that. I didn't know that thing. You even knew playing the first God of War that something about the mistletoe. You were like, I get that. Yeah. I get that. You were like,
I get that.
I was like, I don't like. It's cool in the story. I don't know what it means. So the minute
your man, the stranger, gets up at the start of the first one. He goes, "Nothing can hurt me." I was like, oh, "That's Balder! Oh my god, that's so cool."
That's what I mean. I never fucking heard of Balder. That's what I'm talking about. Adam, would you have known much about Norse mythology going into the first God of War?
Sprinkles.
I say
of
first
it,
God of War, but like
I wouldn't have known like that being Balder, for example. I of course when they say Balder, like I'm like, oh okay, so that's cool. But I wouldn't have made that connection immediately because he's very different.
sure,
true.
But
yeah.
I suppose I would know bits and pieces, not as well as other mythologies, but that's kind of Norse mythology in a nutshell, though, isn't it? Just bits and pieces. There's no really coherent story, so but
it's actually
all
one of the
that
more
knowledge-
coherent mythologies. Apparently, like, isn't it? It's
No,
like
no.
there's a real there's a real saga from like I could be totally butchering this now, but like from like the origins of creation to basically this is how everything is going to end.
Right,
No?
but it's very
Is that not? Is that true? Am I fucking that up, Eric?
Well, yeah, no, they do have
they
stories
do
from
have that, but it's
from
like
beginning to end because Greeks don't, because
Yeah.
as far as Greeks were concerned, it's like they can't say how it's gonna all end because it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
But for the Norse, it was like this like they can predict how it's gonna end, and it was epic.
But I think with the
Right,
Norse,
right.
you see the difference being is that there's no like the Greeks actually have it written down, like they wrote it, so you can read the thing.
Right.
With the Norse, it's not that, so it's very much like we have to rely on scholars to try and piece it all together first. But it's probably mostly just made up by these scholars.
That's crazy. Mythology made up. What?
Because I think
yeah.
it's very scattered amongst. There's no like there's not a very coherent. That's a culture that all believe in the same thing. It's like even when it comes to Odin, as far as I know, he's kind of amalgamation of multiple cultures.
Okay. Cool.
Because you have there's kind of like a Germanic version versus a kind of Viking version, and it's kind of like, okay, let's just smoosh that together. But I don't know.
Well,
if they all
yeah,
really believe the
there's
same
an
thing.
interesting relationship, I think, between Norse mythology and Celtic mythology, where the two the total lines in terms of those nations and those cultures interacted quite a lot, probably in a similar way, but not as much plagiarism as say Greek and Roman mythology. Where like the Romans just straight up fucking plagiarized Greece. They just copied their homework.
And then just change it a bit.
They're the Mark
You know?
Zuckerberg of ancient like
They 100%
civilizations.
are. Yeah. I love how like my knowledge of like any kind of mythologies basically comes from like Age of Mythology, where it's like the most amount in that is Greek, so that's like my highest, and then maybe Norse, and then Egyptian. I haven't a fucking clue. I'm relying on the Mummy Returns for a little bit of Egyptian knowledge. Like I have fucking no shit. Anubis, Set
That's
is
the
evil.
older
That's what I
one
know.
of them is though, is it? The Egyptian?
I would
probably.
imagine so. Yeah, Egypt
probably.
is the oldest, but also the least known about. We have the least amount of knowledge on the
In terms of like pop culture.
not just pop culture. Generally, you try like research it, and it's really difficult to try and get a clear answer of anything. There's actually barely
Right. But if you go into any of those badass museums, the Egyptian section is usually fucking huge.
There's a lot of shit to do with it, yeah. But I think the reason it's
there's a lot of shit that don't fucking translate.
It's because like no one actually knows how to read hieroglyphs. Really, again, it's
right.
kind of
It's interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That kind of makes it a little bit challenging.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
yeah.
relics and stuff. I mean, when you think about like it versus, in terms of Norse mythology, we don't really have much in terms of the, what do they look like? You get that in Egyptian.
We just have to. We're still looking for Mjolnir. It's out there somewhere. We just gotta find it.
Yeah.
And then
I actually seen a picture today.
See who's worthy.
I don't know where it was taken, but I think it was on Twitter where I saw it. But it's someone shared a picture of a kind of a stormy sky that's kind of like this kind of sepia kind of color, and there's a rainbow going through, right? So one of the clouds, and then on the opposite side a big bolt of lightning.
Wow.
I was like, that's Thor riding the Bifrost.
Yeah. That's fucking badass. See, some freak incident like that could have happened once, where it's like, like a father and son say we're walking through the woods. The son was like, "Where did that come from?" And he's like, "Oh, well, that's from the god, blah blah blah. Where did that come from, blah blah?" And he's like, "What about fucking that?"
100%.
That has to be Thor riding the rainbow, made of pure lightning.
100%.
I want to hear that version of a Metallica album, ride the rainbow.
Yeah. Well, there's a metal band called Rainbow, so you could do like a mashup. Yeah. It was
that'd be great.
Dio's
Dio,
band.
can you hear me? I am
Dio's band was
so
called
alone.
Rainbow, and
I didn't know that.
And his who's the guitarist on that again? But it was the guitarist from Deep Purple. I can't remember his name. But yeah, their cover for the album is actually a fist smashing through the ocean and grabbing a rainbow. That's the cover.
That's fucking metal. That's fucking metal. I'm just curious. Well, actually, Adam, you have were you happy about the release date, or did it surprise you?
No, it didn't surprise me just because it was like, I can't remember. I was just so kind of out of the loop, and I think someone just shared it to me. It was an article on the collector's edition actually, and it was it's so kind of negative in terms of its like the post and everything was very negative.
Oh, the post was negative. Okay.
So that my whole kind of it being revealed to me was through a negative light. So I didn't really get to see the reveal of the release date until I kind of get to the end of the article and stuff. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so not so much.
Okay, cool. Just before we go on any further than that, actually, because there is, like, as well as the hype, there are some elements of negativity. And it's interesting to address that as well, because this is a game that has been highly sought after. In
some weird ways.
To a point that has been in many ways toxic and awful.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, and embarrassing.
Straight up illegal. Some of the things that were done were actually straight up illegal.
100%. But just before we get there, Eric, did you? Because I don't know again how much your knowledge of Norse mythology extends. But was there anything interesting about that particular date pointed out to you before I fill you in on what I found out when I researched?
Well, it's a Wednesday.
Yes.
Which is Woden's Day. From another name for Odin. So I think this ties back to what Adam was saying. Yes, I think so. I think the German version is Woden.
Yeah.
Which then is where we got Wednesday from. So they had to put it on Odin's Day.
Right. Yeah, because normally a game releases on a Friday. Yeah, Friday is normally release day for like most
things, pop culture.
Actually, most things. So you'll even notice like the seasons of Stranger Things were a Friday release. Music albums normally come out on a Friday. Most movie premieres are a Friday. You know, if anyone sees it on a Thursday, it's usually a midnight launch.
For the weekend.
So that game would have been scheduled maybe for the Friday of that week, and they just went, lads, though, come on, like,
can't let this go.
Let's do it on the Wednesday. It's Odin's Day, like.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason they're doing it on that particular day, and it's kind of cool. It makes it stand out in a special way.
To me, suggests that Odin will definitely be in this game.
Well, he has to be, right, because they've said that this is going to finish the Norse saga.
Oh, that is true.
Finish the Norse saga. I don't think that's how
it's weird, right?
Sagas work.
It.
I know. It's
a duology.
It's a duology then, right? It's not even a It's
biology.
Weird, no, duology would be.
I'm sure they're like itching to get into other projects and
possibly, and they just want to get this story.
Yeah.
Maybe as they were like road mapping it, they were like, you know what? Like, why would we hold off and just like put out a like buffer zone to what we're going to get to Ragnarok? Like, let's just fucking like pull off the band-aid and get to Ragnarok. That's what people want. Like, what? So maybe that was it. Maybe they were just like, let's just cut to the chase here.
That's a lot of shit cut from the first game too. So
apparently so, yeah.
Cover in here.
Apparently so, yeah.
It's gonna be a long game. Well, yeah, because you're going to all 9 realms. I think in this.
Well, the first game was a long game, right? It was
First
like
game
it was a
was,
30-hour game.
I mean,
easily,
if I was to have
right?
one criticism for that game, it's my God, those goalposts.
Yeah, I think like
Give 'em to
again,
me.
incredible game, but I think the first one was too long. And there was many
was
times where I
definitely
felt
too
like
long.
I was getting to the end, and you'd keep playing. It's late at night, and then you go, there's a whole here. I'm going to bed. Fuck,
It's like
it's
once
fucking
you get to
loads
the
more.
top of the mountain, it's like, oh, not this mountain, that mountain.
Yeah, a little bit like
Okay,
that.
let me just go to that mountain then. It's like, oh, well, you can't go that way. You gotta go that way. It's like, oh, fucking hell.
Fuck.
Yeah, because I think
That's
there's
totally wrong.
enough extra shit to do in that first The God of War that you can extend it for yourself anyway, that I don't think that main story needed to be that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have the trials of Muspelheim, and you got the weird treasure trials of Niflheim. That was weird.
Yes. Awesome. Fuck, man. I gotta replay the first one again, and before this
October.
for the
I'm
new
gonna
one.
replay it in October.
Is
build up to November.
With us knowing now officially the release date, is this a day one purchase for you guys? Do you think?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, I mean, Eric has already clarified. He was like, "Yeah, I'm playing for my fucking
But
birthday."
I don't know whether I'm gonna go physical or digital with it. I think that's
Now
really
that's
gonna-
interesting. We need to talk about that. So they released the different editions and talked a bit about them. And so I suppose there's your standard edition, there's your physical edition, your digital edition, and then there's your what is it, the collector's edition, and then the Jotnar edition, right? And they're like the two big collector's boxes that come with all sorts of things
that look the same but different.
They look the same, but they're different. There's different decorations on each box, and one of them has a couple of extra things. But they also have made a fucking bizarre choice that can only be described as fucking bizarre.
I didn't know where you're going with that.
I just thought I would slow down for everyone. What did you guys think of the editions that are on display?
I mean, I was like, this is all amazing. Give me more of those dice. Obviously, I saw the dice. I was like, are they going to end up fucking pulling it? And here's a 5th edition of fucking God of War. Here's all these classes you could play as. That would have been awesome.
They included a God of War Dungeons and Dragons game inside this box. That would be fucking ridiculous.
The thing is, though, you're going to find... I do agree, the dice are cool. But you're going to find people on Etsy and things like that doing those dice, so...
I know, but
like,
because I know Eric was saying, like, recently he was talking about, like, you were saying you miss collector's editions.
I was recently saying that, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, because didn't you sold your Evil Within?
Well, and I kind of,
and you regret it now.
Yeah, I regret it.
And it's just one of those things where it's like,
I didn't guess the Final Fantasy VII remake one. Not the big one,
even
like,
the deluxe edition, right?
Even the deluxe edition. I'm like, fuck's sake, I should have went for that, because they're always just really nice and they come with extra stuff that's just nice.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Skyrim is a prime example of.
I heard the Horizon one was good.
Awesome.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, I didn't get it, but
I didn't get it, but it comes with a giant elephant. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. It looks,
does it
awesome.
actually?
Yeah. It comes with the big. What's it called? The tusk.
The tremor tusk.
Man, how sick would it be if they had included, the Lego tall neck that they're coming out with?
Yeah.
How sick would it be if they included that in a Horizon Special Edition? That'd be fucking amazing. Lego's great. Lego's
great.
But actually, if you're hell bent on getting it done, and it's all over your table, and it's taking way longer than you thought it would, and you're fucking hungry, it starts to get a little bit frustrating.
That's when you order pizza, man. Order pizza.
Yeah, order the pizza, man. Eric,
this
you're eyeing one of the editions, are you? Or?
Well, I was eyeing up the Jotnar one, which is like
it has that bit
expensive
extra.
one. Yeah, it has that bit extra, but it only comes with the digital copy, which I was like, that's really weird, because they actually give you the steel case.
So that's the fucking bizarre choice I was referring to, because it's like, what's the point in a steel case that doesn't hold anything in it? Like what? Like an empty steel? That is literally a waste of material.
Like, yeah, that's like the equivalent of the Nintendo Switch cases. Like, you got this quite lanky case, and you open up as this little tiny fucking SD thing. You're like, and there's not even a booklet or anything. What the fuck is the point of this shit? It's a waste of plastic.
That sucks. That's fucking shit, man.
So this better come with at least a booklet. Oh, well, I suppose I could put the map in if I wanted to.
Well, that, like,
It does come with a nice map.
yeah, the map looks amazing. The box itself is cool. The Mjolnir model, I think you'd have to kind of hold it for yourself to really feel like what's it like. But like the dice is cool, the models are cool, the ring is cool. Like it's all really cool. I just don't understand why there's not a disc in there.
Yeah,
that's fucking weird. Why is there no disc in there? It's
unusual for collector's edition nowadays, though. I think a lot of collector's edition don't come with the disc.
Like, in one way, it's a good thing. And what I mean by that is because I was getting worried the more digital we go that there will no longer be collector's editions in the future. Right? Which is something that, like, if it's a game you absolutely love, it is something worth celebrating. I mean, I nearly bought the fucking FF7 remake. You know, I nearly went for it, but I just didn't have that kind of money at the time. And for Rebirth, I'll be checking it out. And if it's something that I'm like, I can afford, I was like, fuck it, I'm getting it. I don't care. I don't care how much it is to say I have it because it's going to be a limited thing. But so it is kind of cool knowing that it's like they have a way of like, even if everything goes digital, there will still be these like special monumental kind of collector's editions for the games you really love.
They've been doing that for years now, though.
I'm just surprised there isn't like. Why would you have a steel book with no disc?
Yeah, the steel case.
Weird.
And physical editions do exist for it.
Yeah.
And they went through all this effort to make it all this other shit. It's like just like discs, man.
Yeah.
Just put some discs in there.
Like it wouldn't even take up any space because the case is actually in it. So just put a disc in the case. I don't get it. Why is it now? Wait, I suppose they said that you get a digital copy PS4 and PS5.
You do.
Yeah. So it's probably
maybe they were like, well, if we put a disc in, then we have to like price different collector's editions in terms of, or do you just give them a PS4 disc and then they download a PS5 copy? I don't know. Maybe that's the solution, right?
That would have been smart.
That's it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that would have been.
That's how the
Xbox
like
the Horizon one.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. We solved it, everyone.
Right. Yeah. Horizon Forbidden West works that way. You get the PS4 one, and immediately it's PS5 upgrade.
Yeah.
So the lack of disc, Eric, does that now stop you from wanting one of those editions, or are you like, no, fuck it, and I get it anyway?
Man, nice.
Right, we'll add it to the list. So that's Eric's birthday sorted.
Map of Yggdrasil.
The map looked amazing.
Yeah.
Adam, would you have any interest in any of these editions personally?
No.
In a word.
I thought the collector's edition for the first game was really good. It was like a statue of Kratos,
right?
And
Atreus.
And they're posing there. Like the whole statue looks incredible.
This fucking guy. This fucking guy. He doesn't even remember the fucking. Come on,
I was about to call him. I was about to say Loki, but
well, that is also correct.
Well, yes,
that is correct. That is
the spoilers for the first game, everyone. Okay, sure.
That edition was really, really cool, but that, as far as I know, that wasn't that expensive, and I think that's a better collector's edition than this. And we don't know the price yet.
No,
but I can't imagine the leaks at the moment sounds like it's going to be very expensive, and I'm not seeing the value in it. That hammer looks like a toy. You know,
I don't know. I said there's a lot of heftiness in it, so
yeah, we have to take his word for it. You know,
I know,
we have
but
to take that actor's word for it.
Yeah, but he seems like a calm and reasonable person.
I was with both the reveal trailer and the reveal of the collector's editions. I was not a calm and reasonable person.
You were super excited.
I was super excited.
That's interesting. I wonder, does that come from a place of the way they revealed it, or does that come from a place of just you're so excited for this game?
Well, for me, I was just watching it on YouTube, so obviously I saw it and I saw the title and I was like, grand. But yeah, it was by the time we got to the ending part, I was like, oh my god, yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, and I suppose paired with the excitement of that's my birthday, because I'm very underwhelmed.
I haven't seen the trailer, by the way.
You haven't seen the trailer?
No.
Okay, it's 30 seconds long, and it's not actually as a trailer, not as good as the first.
No, it's a CG trailer.
Yeah. Okay.
that's kind of similar, I guess, in a way to like, do you remember the one that they played a lot where Atreus and Kratos are hunting the deer, that kind of CG trailer?
Yeah.
That they played in like the cinemas and stuff, that was just like God of War, it's not
Nothing to do
showing
with
you
the
gameplay, but it's kind of showing you tone, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that, but it's basically Kratos and Atreus fighting together against enemies, and then it ends with a really cool shot of them like looking up at Fenrir, and he's fucking massive, right? Which is like instead of the snake this time, right?
That'll be cool to see. I think it's just like I'm getting the game.
Oh yeah,
You know
there
what
was
I mean?
no
It's
question
like-
about getting the game.
I don't need
right?
to really watch
Yeah, I get
anything.
you.
I only really watch a trailer if I'm unsure. If I'm 100% in,
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
I don't want to know. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna dive in. I'm sure I'll see other trailers as we get closer to the game. But I don't know if I'm going digital or physical. That's the thing.
So does that mean then, out of curiosity, right? Does that mean, and maybe, and then I'll ask why you're confused about that. But anyway, does that mean? I'm gonna just keep asking that. Does that mean?
That's what you're saying.
Oh, let me ask you this: does that mean? I forgot what I was gonna fucking. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about.
No.
Wait.
It doesn't.
Well, it doesn't mean that. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. It'll come back to me. But why are you wondering whether you're going to go physical or digital?
Well, physical. There's the benefit of like I like the idea of having. I generally there's always like, do you get the PS4 or the PS5 disc, right? So there's actually three questions here. Do I get the PS4 disc?
Yep.
So I have the benefit of being able to play on, because myself and Pagan, if we're playing, she would want to play on the PS4. I would want to play on the PS5, just because of the setups. Or do we just get the PS5 disc only, and then we just experience on the PS5? But then there's an added benefit of having the PS4 one. Or do I want to go digital only, because with the digital one I don't have to listen to the fucking noise of that disc drive. Holy shit! I've been playing
I
Resident
hear what
2
you're saying. Yeah.
recently,
I hear what you're saying.
and why is it that loud? That disc
I know
drive.
it's
If it
it's
wasn't
crazy.
that loud, I'd be disc 100% all the time, because there are huge benefits to going disc, and I think recently Sony have, I don't know if it affects us, but in America and stuff like that, they have a movie division, like you can buy films at the PS Store or something like that, and they're after cutting all of them from the store, so you can no longer access them even if you've bought them. So it's reasons like that why you want physical media. Physical media is fine because you do not know when they're going to lose license.
You can't.
to the
Physical media cannot be taken away from you.
No. So that's the benefit of it. But it's so fucking loud. It's so loud. So
Yeah. Do you think they made it loud on purpose? Like in the hopes that let's
No.
make this so fucking annoying.
No, they
that
skipped
it'll
out on parts, man.
steer people towards digital, but they chose it. We didn't force it on them.
Nah, it's just a cheap drive. They just picked a cheap
yeah,
drive off the
yeah,
shelf.
yeah.
They didn't think about it.
Mine after a while gets kind of okay, and
It does
live
calm
with it,
down
right?
after a bit. I think it's the initial reading it part.
Yeah.
And then it tends to like die down because it doesn't actually need the disc. It doesn't read off the disc after all. It's only checks every now and then to see.
Yeah.
You know.
Are you still there? Are
Yeah.
you still there? Yeah. Okay.
You're still there?
man.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
sure.
You're still there.
Just checking in.
I think I'm gonna go disc. Because for the same price, I think I like the idea of having the physical copy on my shelf. If nothing else, like so there's that worry about what might happen with a digital copy or whatever.
Mhm.
But also, it's a collector's thing then having that case. So I like it. I'm a bit old school. I like having the cases. Like I bought a fucking copy of Final Fantasy 7 on PlayStation 1. I don't have a fucking PlayStation 1. But it's there on my shelf and I like it. I like having it.
We can actually see.
But
it in the
actually,
background.
and that reminds me, does that mean
I knew what the question was too.
you do, right? Does that mean that with more FF7 Rebirth stuff, you're not going to look at any of it?
It does not mean that, Chris.
Because you said you were like, if it's one that I'm already in on,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which I mean, you've said before, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm all in on this. Like
Yeah.
I'm, but like you just said, you're like, I'm not going to watch anything. I'm just like, I'm already getting it. So what's the point in watching it? So
The difference there being
right.
that I've played Final Fantasy 7. I know like pretty much everything about Final Fantasy 7. that
Okay,
this
okay.
is just a kind of a showcase of a retelling, right? It's like if they remade Metal Gear Solid 1. Hell yeah, I'm going to be watching those trailers because I want to see the difference.
Yeah, 100% you are.
If
And
it's a
like,
new
why would you
experience-
wait a second?
Yeah, if it's a new experience, then that's different, isn't it?
Bullshit. If Hideo Kojima was making a new Metal Gear Solid game, if it was him making it, like, you'd check out every fucking trailer that he released. You'd be reading every fucking tweet. You'd be,
I
come
know,
on.
and it'll be better than the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
would. You'd be like, this is so good.
I think
And then you play it and you're like,
Yang A's coverage of Metal Gear Solid 5 leading up to
was the
it
best
is
fucking thing.
the best
ever.
way to experience Metal Gear Solid. You don't need to buy that game. You don't even need to
You don't.
play that game. Just watch
No, no.
Yang A covering everything to do with that game. He has hyped the shit out of that.
Yeah, he did. He sold that game.
He really did.
He is to that game what the Mortal Kombat theme tune is to Mortal Kombat 11. You know, sold
Oh, yeah.
that fucking game.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go
Fucking dicks.
I think I'm gonna go physical edition. I think I'd
probably
like
will
to go
physical.
the PS5. I think I'm gonna go PS5, even though I think this is the last one where no, you can't get the free upgrade, can you? It's not. That's no longer a thing.
I don't know. Actually,
I don't think so. I think Horizon was like the last one. Horizon and
Until
Gran
we
Turismo.
kick up.
Sorry, Gran Turismo was the last. No, because they came out and said, right, okay, fine.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
kicked up a storm, but this is gonna be it. We swear to this is it. This is the last time you're getting it.
It's like why though?
Yeah.
Fucking why?
I love that is a why like.
If your competitor can sell you one disc for all,
Yeah,
what the fuck's your deal, man?
because your competitor isn't selling God of War Ragnarok.
that is a
and
yeah.
and I'm not trying to sound like a dick when I say that. And there is a lot of I'm seeing as well.
there
There's a
really
lot
isn't enough competition on that side this year.
of not in those kinds of games in the AAA sphere. Nah, come on, there isn't.
No, I don't think Starfield is really gonna put a dent in it.
Which Starfield's not coming out until next year, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, never mind. They have nothing. In fact,
That's what I mean. That's what I
nothing
mean.
coming
So,
out.
so there's really. So I don't think Sony's
Yeah.
worried about that aspect, to be honest. Like,
No,
you know.
they well, you know,
Which is, and I think that's why Xbox do have to do that. Actually, is like we need to make this the most consumer friendly space. That
I think they
games
were
are
just,
more
like-
accessible here. You know?
I just think that's
Go ahead.
the logical direction to go because I remember them marketing that,
Yeah,
and I
makes
was
sense.
like, so what, like, and it wasn't until I saw Sony weren't doing that I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like literally everything on the planet now does
yeah,
this. You know, like
Yeah,
if you bought
yeah,
a
yeah.
fucking, could you imagine having to buy an app for your phone
Mhm.
and you have to buy a separate one for your tablet and a separate one for your watch? You just buy the one app and it goes into all three of them. Like that's
right. So that's the way Xbox are doing it and looking at it, right? But I feel like the way Sony are actually like looking at it is almost like, no, you don't get it, guys, right? We have been selling you DVDs, right? But now we've got Blu-ray. Your DVDs will work in the Blu-ray player, but your Blu-rays will not work in the DVD player. And the Blu-rays are more expensive than the DVDs. And now I know that's a weird metaphor to make since they are actually all Blu-ray discs.
yeah,
Right.
That
first-
that one doesn't hold up.
Okay, well, if you want that, I can say VHS tape, and but I think like they're not looking at it that way, but necessarily. But what I mean is like they're looking at it as no, these are two like different products.
Well, they're wanting to sell
essentially,
it
and
like
it's-
yeah, because they said leading up to the whole thing is that they believe in generations and that there should be one generation and the next generation, and it's like yeah, okay. It
And
just
a master generation.
I think it
rather,
just-
so.
I would
Yeah.
be totally okay with that
yeah.
if you weren't selling cross-gen games though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah,
Dark
so
Souls.
go all in. Go all
or
in,
Demon
right? PS5.
Souls, for example, it's like, yeah, obviously, like that's a generational thing. Don't make it available on PS4 then. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But if you have a game that's cross-platform, it was made for one, but you're actually porting it over to the new one, then I think it should just be one price.
I get you. So
Once-
do you wish
once you go
God of
full
War
out-
Ragnarok was PS5 exclusive?
I mean, it wouldn't make a difference to me, but I'm sure a lot of people would be angry. It was never going to be that way because they've been developing it for so long. I'm sure they've been working on it before PS5 was ever really
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
a thing. But no, I just think that it should be sold. There shouldn't really. It should be one case that has like a PS4/PS5 on it.
Yeah, on the top. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. That's what they do. It's a
Yeah,
cross
and it's
generational
just
game,
like
and then you have PS5 only games, and there's no real point to PS4 only games anymore. So
Well, this is probably the last one, right? Like this year will surely
Hopefully.
see the end of it. I think. I can't imagine next year there's any more. Like Resident Evil 4 remake is PS5 only,
nice.
and that's March. That's starting from March, right? So I think this could be it. Now, actually, sorry, the game Forspoken, which has been delayed, is no longer coming out this year. It's coming out in January, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it has been delayed by a huge amount. But that one I think was cross-platform. So because it's been delayed, they gotta keep that promise, right? Yeah, I think that's coming out PS4 and PS5. So they'll have to keep that promise. So that actually now might be the last one. But I think God of War Ragnarok was intended to be like sort of the end of the transitional era. Moving forward, because even like the likes of Final Fantasy 16 and that kind of stuff coming next year is PS5 exclusive, so or at least timed exclusive before they go to PC eventually.
Hopefully they have enough units out there then in the wild.
Yeah, man, we don't want people missing out on their games. But I sorry, I have to say, in watching the trailer, which is a fine like CG trailer, and there's some cool stuff you can take from it. There's like cool vibes you get off it. Atreus is older. I feel like we're going to get to play as him. It's not said, but I feel like we're going to get to play as him.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Kratos is going to fucking die, lads. And Atreus is going to be the main character of the series
really
moving
putting
forward,
into
right?
it, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's to put a full stop on it. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think Fenrir is going to be, as opposed to the cool big serpent, which was more of a interactive character and a story point, I think Fenrir is going to be one awesome fucking boss fight. I don't think it's going to be a friend. I think it's going to be I don't know, I could be wrong, that could be totally wrong, but I have a feeling that's going to be one
a Gears
epic ass
2
boss
moment
fight
where you're on the inside of it hacking, slashing.
yeah, or like hanging off the back of it as it's running through mountains, breaking mountains as it goes, and you're
Surely
fucking trying
you're
to
the
stop the wolf
equivalent
running
of like
and
a
shit, right?
tick on that thing.
It's pretty big.
Because it depends on
if it
how
needs to
far
fight-
away it is.
If it needs to fight Jormungandr, I
Is
can only
it
imagine
big
the size
or
of it.
far away? What?
What you said?
It doesn't need to fight Jormungandr.
Who?
Fenrir?
Fenrir, yeah.
No, that's Thor.
All right. Okay.
Thor fights Jormungandr.
Thor stops being calm and reasonable. And he fucking kicks the ass out of a snake.
And Fenrir is kind of Odin and Tyr's kind of main enemy. But Tyr and Fenrir also have a bit of a friendship as well. So I'm actually going to rewatch the first trailer to see if Tyr is missing a hand. Because I know in Norse mythology, Fenrir takes Tyr's hand.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, you know nothing.
I know nothing, but by the way.
Yeah, it's like you're like, I don't know if I'm the biggest Norse mythology fan out of the three of us. It's like
I just know that Hel has to be in Helheim, which means she would have also been sent back in time with Jormungandr and Fenrir. Because otherwise it would not be called Helheim when you go there.
This is fantastic. I love this.
Have you played Hellblade?
No, I actually want to.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, you should. I think you'd enjoy
that one.
This is like
it'd be like a Plague Tale with Norse.
right.
Sick, bro. Sick.
Yeah,
the sick bruv. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the second Hellblade actually.
Wherever that is.
Wherever that is, it's not coming out in the next 12 months anyway. So
that's for sure.
That was disappointing. But I have to say, even with that stuff that's like highlighting or pointing at exciting things for God of War Ragnarok, which is again day one purchase for me, I'm in. I'm underwhelmed by the way it was revealed because I think this was all primed for a state of play. I believe it was. I think there was going to be a state of play before the summer was over. There probably still will be, but I think they were going to hold off the release date till then.
Oh,
I think they were pressured.
Why would you think they're pressured?
Because I think they were thinking about their staff and they were going, right, our staff are getting horribly fucking abused. Release the release date now and leave our staff alone. So that
Corey Barlog sent out a tweet that was not what's the phrase? Like HR definitely didn't look at this or anything like. It was very kind
Wow.
of
Okay.
blunt.
Yeah.
It was a very blunt message. He was pretty much cursing in it.
Sure, if
And
you were being blunt to them, be blunt back.
yeah, no, like I'm all for that.
I agree with him.
That's the thing. I was like, I felt every confidence this game was coming out this year anyway. It's a day one purchase for me. I wasn't like, it's okay to wait, and I think it's just awful that, I suppose the way in which it was revealed to me came off as, there, are you happy, as opposed to let's finally celebrate, here it is. Do you get me?
Because
it was a 1 minute trailer that just dropped, and then here's the collector's editions. You'll be able to buy them soon. It's like they weren't even ready for pre-order yet. It was like, you'll be able to pre-order them soon. So it was like, it was even like, here's the date, so it is coming. Here's the cool shit you'll be able to get. Will you now please leave us alone? That's the way it came off to me, and I could be totally wrong. And I'm not giving out to them about that. I'm mad at the community about it.
I don't understand why you'd get mad at it. Like, I think it's different if, let's say, you paid for it, and and you're waiting. Like, I know it's like, if you've ever backed things on Kickstarter, the community can get pretty,
pissy.
Yeah, they can, impatient, because they've purchased it. Like, their money has been taken. So if deadlines aren't being met due to shipping delays and stuff like that, like, people can, get a bit annoyed with that. That side of thing, like, even in that space, it's like, all right, but you don't have to be mean, But like, these guys owe you nothing. You're going to buy this game when it comes out, but they owe you absolutely nothing. They could go, yeah, fuck it, we're not actually making it then. Like, what do you do?
Stop,
like,
and then
stop being.
Well, what do you do there? And to be honest, I wish there was a way that people could not get it. Because there's some people I'm just like, fuck you, man. Like, it's a fucking game, right? Get over it. But so I suppose that's where that's just where I came from. Like, when it came out, I just felt like this should have been one of those big moments where, like, everyone loses their mind, goes crazy. It's like, oh my God, it's like, we just seen a big chunk of gameplay. It was unreal. And then here at the end, here's the release date and here's the additions. Much like I'm reminded of when Final Fantasy VII Remake was quiet for so long, and then eventually they showed an amazing trailer, an amazing gameplay. Here's the release date. Here's the additions. It was just like bang, bang, bang.
Do you think it's a bit like,
the excitement was like,
because
crazy.
I remember when the price for I think it was the price for the PS5 or the design of the PS5 was one of those two.
And the price, they dropped them both. I think.
Yeah, it was that.
Yeah,
then. It was when the president was just kind of like they showed it and they go, now you know, and that's literally what he said. Now you know.
Now, yeah.
Do you think there's like it's not up to the developers or anything like that, or the studios, but Sony themselves, PlayStation themselves, probably need to better handle like expectation and like looking at like the way maybe Marvel promotes their stuff and sets a roadmap to say and kind of give realistic expectations, or even the way Kickstarter does it. It's like, here's what's coming out, here's what we have planned, and here's what's happening. Like, do a kind of a almost like a monthly update blog thing, where you kind of go, like, this project's being pushed due to these reasons, and just kind of be more transparent to people. So and that might mitigate. It's a bit like shit that they would have to do that, like, but just so to take away the wrath of the people going towards developers, like, really help your developers out by being more transparent about what's going on with your projects.
Well, I don't understand why, or well, I suppose I kind of do. I don't understand I understand why they're doing it, to the extent that they don't learn from the past. That, like, the last time, or like within the last couple of years, a hugely anticipated game got, like, the developers got like harassed by the people. They then released a broken game, and then got harassed by all the people because they released a broken game. It's like, well, just fuck it. That's what happens when you pressure the developers to release something that's not finished. Just fucking wait. Like you said, Adam, the developers don't owe us shit yet. If they want, they can pull the plug. So just show people kindness, because that's how you'd like to be treated too. So Don't
Well,
be
maybe
giving
they
other
don't.
people
Maybe they
shit.
want to be stepped on.
Maybe they're like, I'm fair.
Punish
So these
me.
guys are making like one of the
Lady D.
guys are making like a technically fantastic game. They probably do have like the skill set to be able to just hack into your account and find out where you live and go, and
There
there
he
you
is.
go. Yeah,
Well,
there you are now.
I do feel just on that point, I think this game is ready to come out on the 9th of November. I think this is going to be a finished, polished game, right? And there was no way it was going to release last year. And like now, like you have to know when it's coming at near the end of the following year, it was never going to come out last year. That was never going to happen. But so I think that they were always going to release it that date. I don't think they've been pressured into that. But I personally feel, and again, could be totally wrong, could have totally read the kind of internet wrong. I feel that they have been pressured into announcing that release date in a way that they weren't necessarily planning on releasing it. Because it does just feel like there it is. Like it just landed on the internet very randomly in what could have been a tweet, in the same way as like Gotham Knights released their release date in just a picture. It was just a tweet.
Do you think this generation,
it's just not exciting?
Like, has there been any game from PlayStation Studios that was revealed well?
When you say this generation, you're talking PS5?
Since the PS5 has come out, yeah.
I mean, the release date being
like, or just the game reveal,
or just the game reveal.
The game reveal, yeah.
Plague Tale Requiem, I thought was
no, from PlayStation.
I think. Oh right, okay. Well, that's hard to say then, because like I was going to say, I think the way even Resident Evil 4 was announced.
Yeah, no, I think Capcom.
Like I think Capcom are doing an excellent job.
Are doing pretty good.
Square Enix are fucking killing it, man.
Yeah,
they're fucking killing it. And actually, I have to say on the because even now, like I was telling you guys, like I did a bit more research into, because now they've been doing interviews about Final Fantasy 16, right?
Yeah.
And like revealing information about kind of what the story would be and the setting and stuff. And if you read, because I remember like that was one of my criticisms about the trailers. I was like, cool music, cool visuals. They're talking nonsense, right?
Yeah.
When you know that though, like if you check out the interviews, then go back and watch the trailers, and now you know what they're talking about. They look unreal. They look even better because you have context. Those games.
I think Final Fantasy looks good.
That game looks sick, and it's a day one purchase for me, man. It looks.
I don't know if I'll
awesome.
be day one, but I'm definitely interested. I'm just hoping it's not a Final Fantasy 12 kind of thing.
Do you know, right? Like, so there's a character in it, the main character.
Yeah.
Right. So there's the guy, and he's wearing all white or whatever, and he's got the sword, and he's like fighting. And then there's another guy with like longer hair, and he's all rough and rugged, right? It's the same character. You play as him years later, and you play through stages of his life.
Okay.
Oh, it sounds so fucking good.
Like,
sorry,
you do realize that pretty much most games, to all games, look awesome when you have context.
Yeah, okay, fair. Well, no,
I know what Chris is talking about though, because like
I know, Chris.
That's most JRPGs though.
You never have it.
What are you even saying?
Why
are you speaking Japanese?
Whereas it's like the opposite, like in Western games, it's like they actually say nothing. It's just a character given like a look, and you go
a look and a bit of music, and the title comes on the screen, and you go.
Or actually, it's not even a person. It's just a black screen and some text, and you go, "Fuck yeah, I'm in on that."
Just hit me with the word remake.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Put remake after anything.
Remember Abandoned?
Stop now, because when you mentioned about Sony needs to really like manage expectations, I was like, remember that shit show?
Yeah.
That's still a shit show.
I don't think anything from PlayStation Studios right now, like the games are good, but their message and the way they market this generation has been so poor, and even managing the expectations of like console sales and like not. And on the opposite side, when you look at like Microsoft, I think the way they've been marketing has been really good, but this stuff perhaps hasn't really lived up.
It's a shame. It's a shame they can't blend together and combine and come out, because I agree.
And
I
then
think
Nintendo just
Xbox
fucking breeds, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, you see that I don't understand
Yeah,
at all. Like,
they're the probably the most overhyped game company. I'm gonna
I
get
still
hate
to
for
this,
that.
I still to this day, and obviously each to their own. People enjoy what they enjoy. Like I have yet to be convinced, and we're quite far into that cycle now. I've yet to be convinced to buy a Switch. Like I still have no reason to get one. Like, and I thought maybe by now something would have been me over. You know what? If Crisis Core Reunion was going to be a Switch exclusive, that might have done it, but it's not. So there's no reason to get one other than Zelda and Mario.
What if they released a remake of Time Crisis 2 on the Switch?
Man, day one. I don't know how that would work.
The most bizarre platform for it, wouldn't it?
It'd be fucking weird.
Is this the name of our episode? Just bizarre.
Bizarre. Bizarre is our key word today.
Bizarro.
Go back to the start of this episode. Play it again, and now take a shot every time we say bizarre. You'll have loads of fun. Bizarre.
Yeah.
Is there? So I suppose that was
back
just
to God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out that I do think it's disappointing that we possibly haven't gotten this exciting reveal in the way that maybe Santa Monica would have revealed it.
Yeah, because when they revealed the very first big trailer, the trailer they released now feels like that should have been the first trailer, and this trailer, the first trailer, feels like the second trailer. Just to give you context, Sam, because you haven't seen the second trailer. But
you're saying it's CGI, right? So obviously that would have taken some time, though, right? I mean, it'd be quicker to show gameplay.
It would, yeah. I'm not saying and that's another thing. I'm not saying that this was made overnight. I just feel like this was going to be part of what I think is still coming.
Working up to a
I think this was going to be part of a state of play, and they just showed this part now early just to get the release date out there because they didn't want to drop the date as just a tweet, but at the same time, it's also not much to look at.
Okay,
but that's what I mean. Like, you know, most times though, when people are doing teaser trailers for games, it's usually just a CG trailer. Like that's what it looks like. It's a 30-second CG trailer, and then followed by and then later on, unlike the gameplay,
Gollum. Gameplay.
Yeah, but no, there's been stuff for that.
Now there's a game that even with context is not looking good.
I bet it'll be fun to play though. Regardless of
might be great.
Yeah.
Might be the best Lord of the Rings game ever.
It looks kind of like maybe Abe's Odyssey kind of inspiration, maybe.
I was getting Plague Tale out of it.
Don't offend Plague Tale.
No, seriously, it looks like a Plague Tale.
That's fucking harsh. Plague Tale.
I was getting with a Lord of the Rings skin.
Stop. I don't like what you're saying.
I was getting a load of shit out of it.
Yeah.
You were what?
Getting a whole load of shit.
I fucking love Plague Tale.
That's what I said.
You bastard.
I'm glad you played it on a faulty console with some faulty TV.
It's not. You know what? Like we said, each their own. Adam's not a big Plague Tale fan. That's fine. I
love everything about it but the gameplay. So
best game of 2019. That's what I say. And that is the year Ori 2 remake came out. I am saying it.
You
and
are
Death Stranding.
Weirdo.
And Jedi Fallen Order. I don't care. I loved it. Loved it.
It's very good.
It was fucking horrendous. In a good way. in a good way.
But the second one looks like it has much better better gameplay.
It does. I'm excited. That's on my list this year. That's probably a day one purchase as well.
Better for sure.
Although it's coming to
stick to the, this tactical espionage that it is.
Yeah, it's a stealth game.
That's a fancy word for that kind of gameplay. Wow. Shots fucking being fired all over the shop.
There's
no espionage in Plague Tale.
There is this time. You've got a knife and a crossbow.
That's not what never mind.
That's more than what Snake had when he went to fucking Shadow Moses. They gave him nothing.
That's not what espionage is.
Give him a packet of cigarettes and say,
there you go, kill yourself.
Yeah, and you were able to do that. Anyway, we're getting way off track.
We're getting way off topic here.
Let's just
this episode is bizarre.
This is a fucking bizarre episode. Before we for the final few minutes then of this week's episode, and we do owe everyone just like an hour episode, which we promised at the start of the year, since we did some super long ones of Stranger Things recently. But I suppose are there any things then? So getting away from the negativity, we have all said that this is a day one purchase for us anyway. So it's a game that we are actually excited for. is there anything that we personally hope to see from the sequel to God of War Ragnarok, which is stuff that we don't know about yet, which may come up in the state of play, maybe through gameplay?
Wait, the sequel to God of War Ragnarok or the sequel that is God of War Ragnarok?
Yes, that is what I meant. Yes.
Does
that mean? Does that mean?
Right.
There I go again.
This is you guys go first because I will have.
Yeah, like what do you hope to see as a big Norse mythology fan? Although, in asking you actually might spoil it on us, but go on.
I'll say nothing, but just everything I want that happens, I hope it happens.
Okay, and is there a loose?
Looking forward to all of that.
Is there something loose you could say? Like, do you mean like you want the mythological events of Ragnarok to actually be
in its own God of War way?
Do you want Fenrir to eat the moon? Does Fenrir eat the moon? Is that right?
No, that's Scotty and Hottie. They eat the moon and sun.
hey, Hottie.
That they sound like characters from like what's that?
I could be butchering the pronunciation. All right, I read the page. Like it's not like the book tells you how to pronounce things.
The audiobook does. Scotty and Hottie. Okay, so sorry, they eat the moon. I got that totally wrong.
One of them eats the moon. The other one eats the sun because they stop.
That's game over right there.
God of War, Ragnarok starts with essentially those things stop moving, and then Fimbulwinter starts, where essentially the world freezes over, which most that could happen.
Sorry, Fimbulwinter just sounds like, I don't know, like a Christmas market. Welcome to Fimbulwinter. That sounds awesome. I want to go there and buy.
I kind of want a weird bleed over then into like. I know this is the end, and it's probably the end of Kratos, but it'd be a cool introduction.
That's what I'm expecting. That right?
It'd be a cool introduction to Egyptian mythology, wouldn't it? If those two characters are the people who eat the sun and the moon, because that's it's not Ra and. Set.
Ra who later becomes a Moon Ra when a particular faction in Egypt took over another faction in Egypt. He then became a Moon Ra.
Man, why don't you have a mythological podcast? This is fantastic.
He's the god of the sun, and
but isn't it those two? It's like in mythology, it's those two are in eternal battle, and it's when it's nighttime. Set wins and kills Ra, and then he's reborn the next day.
That's either Set or it's Apophis, which is the world encircler. I think it's a giant serpent.
I think so.
You're a Apophis.
So if it was like that'd be a cool way to introduce like the Egyptian shit. It's like these people actually trying to kill Ra and Set.
Like a war of the gods, but it's not amongst
like a God of War.
It's like
War of gods. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I have a feeling like they might actually set up Egyptian mythology, right? They really might. And then I do think there probably is a third game, but when they say the end of the Norse saga, we're probably playing as Atreus fighting the Egyptian gods, but he's older.
Yeah, see, I feel like it depends on the four symbols, right? So they had in the first one they had the Greek, the Norse, what looked like Egyptian, and then there was a fourth symbol.
It's Asian of some sort, isn't it?
Okay. You think they might do that?
At first I thought it was Celtic, but then when I played the game again, I saw the symbol. I was like, oh, that looks more like it's Japanese or something, or Bushido or something. Words.
I'm not sure you used the right word there.
No, Bushido is
like something to do for martial arts, right? I think it was Japanese or sushi or something, one of those areas,
I don't even know what you're saying, man.
Egypt is probably the next area just to get off being racist. We don't mean to be racist. We're sorry.
I believe that symbol is sayonara.
Misinterpretation.
Yeah, which is our whole thing about the Egyptian hieroglyphs. We haven't a fucking clue what they're saying.
We haven't got a clue what they mean. Could be anything really.
But no, I think that would be sick if they find some way of like leading into the Egyptian mythology as well. But and I don't think, because it's not as pop culture, you probably can't do a trilogy out of Egypt. So it probably is worthwhile just like leading into like maybe a singular game where that happens. But then some of the Egyptian gods are so cool, and they have free reign with them. They can do it to like in terms of a new interpretation of characters. So, but is there anything you guys would like to see like gameplay system wise or anything like that? from Ragnarok that would be an addition in terms of what the first game maybe didn't have?
Actually.
Apart from,
I mean, I think better control of Atreus, like Atreus having maybe more kind of abilities rather than just press square 3 times and then.
Yeah, I think I'd like a segment where he's playable, like fully playable. I think that would be cool. I actually think that, like, much like a Winter Ellie chapter in Last of Us 1.
I think that's risky.
I think that would be cool.
It's probably likely, but I think that's risky.
It definitely is risky, but I think it's a smart idea to test the water in a game where then you will give you back control of Kratos. And if you didn't like it, it was just a moment. But if you did like it, then they can absolutely give you more of that in the future.
Yeah. I'm hoping, from gameplay perspective, apart from like improving the climbing mechanic, like make that feel more enjoyable rather than
more like Uncharted 4 or something, because that was really good.
Well, not necessarily. I think just maybe quicker or something. I don't know. It's just it always felt like I was waiting.
Well, actually,
I was just loading kind of.
The climbing in Horizon Forbidden West is excellent.
Take that.
And that would work because the Uncharted climbing is a little bit less humane even than that. Like Aloy is the rocks and everything she's going for is a lot closer to her, and it looks really natural. So that would be great.
Apart from that, I can't really think of anything how you could. I'm sure they will, but I can't really think of anything. And but what I would love to see from the game is, one, if you are going to play as Atreus, I want him to become likable because I didn't really like him.
Yeah, he was annoying.
2, I think I would like to see more. Like, I always felt like the first game was empty, right? There was no one around, and even when it came to the creatures, like you were in the realm with the kind of the light elves, I guess, or whatever you want to call them. They weren't really there. They were kind of there, but not really. It's just always just enemies.
A lot of empty realms, right?
Empty realms with people to kill. Whereas I would like to see, maybe not even people to save, but I'd like to see people. So that
it looked like from one of the trailers, right? Yeah,
it did.
One of the trailers had a town that, so it looks like they're going to fix, because I think that was something that a lot of people felt was a fair criticism of the first game. So I think that's something that they addressed probably early in development for this one, in terms of having a location that's filled with characters. Now, whether that will bleed into the actual world or whether that'll just be like a town.
Well, yeah, I feel like that'd be a town where you meet that co-op guy with the octopus, right?
Yeah. This release date is not a April Fool's. This is real. That's worth saying. Yeah. For me, then, I want all those things you've just said, and I think those are things that will happen. But I also would like, and this is not necessarily a gameplay mechanic, it'd be more like a moment. I want them to find a natural but fucking awesome way of incorporating the main theme of the God of War trilogy in a way that doesn't feel totally out of place with the overall soundtrack of this game.
Isn't it a weird omission not to have that when he
got
swords? Like,
it was the perfect moment. And so what I hope is that they find an opportunity this time around that, like, so that was the big hype moment of the first God of War for me.
Yeah.
And I hope then this time around, because you probably will already have the swords as an optional thing anyway, because you had them. This time around, if the music kicks in at a point that feels like this is now the hype moment, is wow. But I don't want it to just be the music as it was. I want them to find some really interesting way of incorporating it.
Is there any equipment from the old games that you would love to see make a return for this one?
The fucking Nemean gloves. Is that what they're called? I don't remember what they're called. I don't remember half the names of any of the weapons from the, like, I just remember playing through and just be like, fuck you, Hera. And like,
yeah. Well, yeah, I think it was the Nemean gauntlets or something.
Was that what it's called? I just remember what they looked like.
But I think they were supposed to be the idea of, because Heracles had them.
Yeah, that's right.
I think they called him Hercules in the game. But anyway,
I think that's technically how you pronounce it, though.
That's Heracles.
Go on, Eric. Tell us why.
Well, I was in Greece, and that's just how they pronounce it. So,
well, those were Roman Greeks. And then there was Icarus's wings. He had them.
Yeah. Oh man, them. That would be cool because they could use that as a.
That would be cool.
No, Icarus wings, but they're Valkyrie wings. You have to rip them off the Valkyrie Queen and fucking Use
all of
Right.
that.
So it replicates a system from the old games, but utilizing the Norse mythology instead.
But now that they're magical wings, you can like proper fly, not just kind of lazily glide to the left.
Well, I think you couldn't let you have free roam of flying across the world.
Well, no, but like you can reach great heights or something with it, and then also glide across.
Well, I was really thinking like use them in a similar way to, and I don't want to make too many comparisons, but like because like we were saying about maybe utilize the climbing mechanics from Forbidden West, but that shield wing is such an awesome way of once you climb to the top of something, you do like your thing,
Or the
and then
Batman
use
cape.
that to get all the way back down, or the back cape, in the Arkham games. If you have something like the Icarus wings, whatever it is, that now you have a way of gliding,
Across
to
the
help you
map.
traverse the map.
Hmm.
I'd love that. That'd be fucking
But you
amazing.
could also
Would
use
Atreus
them-
have to hop on your back though? Would it look weird?
Either fly like
He holds onto
stretches
your
his hands.
legs.
We're going on an adventure. Yeah, so actually you play as him using Kratos as a shield wing. It looks like when they showed Nightwing with his fucking weird ass glider that they're using in Gotham Knights. It looked like that.
But you could also use, again, I suppose the wings kind of like the back cape in Arkham. You can use it to
Yeah,
stun people.
Oh
But
yeah.
the Valkyries also use the wings as weapons, so you can have the wings and then start slicing up some Draugr with them.
All right, that they'd be multifunctional,
Hmm.
act as weapons and
In fact, just make a game where
mechanic.
you play as a Valkyrie.
No, just give Kratos Valkyrie wings. No, that sounds awesome. But now we would love to hear from all of you guys. What additions would you like to see to God of War Ragnarok that we haven't been confirmed of yet? Whether that's storyline wise, game mechanic wise, or whatever else you would like to see in the game. And how excited for you? Is there an addition you're going to be getting? Is this a day one purchase for you guys? How did you feel about the way it was revealed? Let us know your take on God of War Ragnarok coming 9th of November 2022. If you're watching this on YouTube, jump down in the comments, share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this, why not give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell for all future content. If you guys have been listening to us on audio platforms, then you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on God of War Ragnarok. Thank you very much for checking this week's episode out, guys. We're back to talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.